A blade enters a man's ribs. He drops into the dirt of a cave in northern Iraq. He is not the same species as the thing that killed him. 40,000 years ago, this planet held at least 6 kinds of human. Today, it holds 1. What happened to the other 5? The answer is written inside your own body, and it is stranger than extinction. Picture the Earth 300,000 years ago. Neanderthals hold Europe and the Middle East. Denisovans hold Asia, all the way up to the roof of Tibet. On the island of Flores, a human species stands barely 1 meter tall, hunting dwarf elephants with stone points. On Luzon, another one. In South Africa, another still small-brained, dropping its dead down a shaft in the dark. None of them are you. All of them are human. For almost all of our history, being human was not special. It was a category with many members, and you were simply one animal in a genus full of them. Then, inside a window of roughly 15,000 years, every single one of them disappears, except us. The easy explanation is that we were smarter. That explanation collapses the moment you look at their skulls. The average Neanderthal brain was larger than yours, not slightly larger, by around 10%. They controlled fire. They made glue by heating birch bark, a process that demands sustained temperature control. They wore pigment. In 3 caves in Spain, there is painted ochre on the walls dated to 64,000 years ago, roughly 20,000 years before any of us set foot on that continent. Someone who was not us was already putting marks on stone to mean something. And in that cave in Iraq, archaeologists found a Neanderthal man who was blind in one eye, deaf, with a withered arm and a crushed foot. He lived like that for years, which means that for years somebody fed him. These were not brutes losing a race. These were people, and we were there when they stopped. Now look at the timing and ask yourself what it means. Our species leaves Africa in waves. Trace where we land, then trace when the others vanish. We reach the Middle East, and the Neanderthals there fade. We push into Europe around 45,000 years ago, and within 5,000 years, Neanderthals are gone from the entire continent. We arrive in Southeast Asia. Flores goes quiet. Luzon goes quiet. The Denisovans drop out of the record altogether. Every single time, the same sequence. We show up. They stop existing. 6 species. 1 survivor. And the survivor is the one that happened to be standing there each time the lights went out. It may not have looked like a war. It rarely does. A slightly better throwing arm. A slightly wider trade network. 3 more children surviving each generation. And a rival species gets pushed off the good hunting ground and out into the cold margins. Neanderthal populations were tiny. Possibly only a few thousand breeding adults across all of Europe. You do not need a massacre to end something that thin. You only need to be in the way of it, permanently. A scientist with a notepad will tell you correlation is not causation. He will say it while standing in a cave floor of butchered bone, still writing. But we did not only remove them. Check your own genome. If your ancestry runs outside Africa, roughly 1 to 2% of your DNA is Neanderthal. If you have ancestry in Papua New Guinea or Melanesia, as much as 5% of you is Denisovan, a species we have never recovered a complete skull of. We know they existed almost entirely because they are still inside living people. They did not simply die out. They were absorbed. And then something colder started happening. Look at where that Neanderthal DNA sits in the modern genome, and you find long, empty stretches, deserts where none of it survives at all. Selection has been quietly deleting them out of us for 40,000 years. The stretches nearest the genes for fertility went first. We took them in. Then our bodies began erasing the evidence. So ask which side of this you are actually on. Every one of those species was, to us, the other humans. Close enough to trade with. Close enough to sleep with. Close enough to raise children with. And still sorted, every time, into a category standing just outside the one that counted. We are the descendants of whoever won that sorting. Not the smartest, not the kindest, just the ones who kept arriving, kept breeding, kept expanding, and kept drawing the line one step outside themselves. That instinct did not go extinct along with them. It leaves no fossils because it is still running. Every century since, we have invented fresh ways to decide which humans are the other humans, and not once has the sorting been done by the side that loses. So go back to that cave. A blade enters a man's ribs. He falls into the dirt, and his whole species falls with him. But not all the way down. Some of them got through, carried forward inside the winners like something stolen and worn. You are the survivor of a war you never fought, and you are also, in small deleted pieces, the side that lost.